to call the January 28th, 2025 regular meeting of the Everett Public Schools Board of Directors to order. We will begin with the land acknowledgement. Student Representative Kink.
We acknowledge the original inhabitants of this area, the Stahobes people, and their successors, the Tololo tribes. Since time immemorial, they have hunted, fished, gathered on, and taken care of these lands and waters. We respect their sovereignty and the right to self-determination, and honor their sacred spiritual connection with the land and water. In Everett Public Schools, we strive to create equitable outcomes and build a culture of inclusive belonging for all students, teachers, staff, and community.
Thank you so much. Would you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? And anyone wearing a hat not in uniform, please remove your hat.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Will the secretary please call the roll?
President Mitchell.
Present.
Vice President Herman.
Present.
Director Revelinsky.
Present.
Director Mason.
Present.
Director Adkins. Student Representative Kink.
Present.
Student Representative Covarrubias.
Present.
Thank you. Now is section 5.0, the adoption of the agenda. Dr. Saltzman, have there been any changes to the agenda since it was first published?
Good evening. Yes, Madam Chair, there's been one change to the agenda. The timing sheet was added.
Okay, thank you. By general consent, we will approve the agenda with that addition. That moves us on to recognition. We have our December core value champions, Ms. Weinberg.
Yes, good evening, President Mitchell, Board of Directors, Superintendent Saltzman, and student representatives. Thank you for your time tonight to celebrate our December core value champions, where we're highlighting the core value of collaboration. Each school in our district has chosen a deserving student to honor. Their names are displayed on our website for recognition. This evening, though, we're grateful to have a few of those represented in person. We have principals from 3 of our schools joining us tonight. We have Cecilia O'Connor Weaver from Tambar Creek, Jack Roy from Port Gardner K-12, and Matthew Bennett from Gateway Middle School. And each of them will be coming forward to explain why their student was selected for collaboration. And once you're done introducing your student, I'll just have you wait up in front, and then we'll get a picture of all of our collaboration core value champions. So up first, I'm going to invite Cecilia O'Connor Weaver.
Hello. Good afternoon, board. Good afternoon, Dr. Saltzman. It's my pleasure to announce our core value winner at Tambar Creek for December, which is our collaborative, being a collaborative leader. The teacher, she's not here tonight. She has the flu, the child does, and so she's at home recuperating. So it's just me here to present. This is what her teacher said about her. I'm proud to recognize Ariana as our December Core Value Award winner for collaboration. Ariana consistently excels in group projects, demonstrating a strong ability to work well with a wide range of classmates. What stands out most to me in her natural ability is her natural ability to connect with students who might be struggling, especially during free choice time. She doesn't hesitate to reach out and initiate conversations, often encouraging them to participate in creative activities. Her kindness, inclusiveness, and teamwork make her a true asset to our classroom. And her name is Ariana Savojevic. Thank you.
Good evening, Board of Directors, Dr. Saltzman. I get the honor for Port Gardner to introduce Oliver Knuth. Oliver has been at Port Gardner since he was a kindergartner. He is currently a 6th grader. When I asked his teachers to say, why should he get this honor? They said, well, he's awesome. And then they followed it up with, Oliver works well with whatever table group he's assigned and shines during Socratic discussions. Oliver is also a leader in collaboration in science class, especially when working with his lab groups. He loves to lead discussions and collaborates with a smile. So we get to recognize Oliver Knuth.
Roy, if you and Oliver can come up here, because we will take a picture.
Good evening, school board. Dr. Saltzman, thanks for having us today. I'd like to introduce our core value champion from Gateway. This is Grace Duarte. She's an 8th grader at Gateway. During her time at our school, Grace has been known as a student who not only cares for others, but is also selfless. Whether in classes, athletics, or as a peer mentor in our life skills PE room, Grace has made Gateway a better place. And you can see Grace each morning coming up to the front office to welcome our life skills kids and walking them down. So she's built really solid relationships with those around her, and we're very proud of her. Congratulations.
Celia, you want to come up just to recognize your school? And I hope we can share the video with your students. Ryan, would you scoot over? Yeah. Come this way.
Oh, yep. Oh, yeah. Can you principals go on the outside? Sorry, the small gentleman in front. Yes. One more step. This is professional photography. Parents, come on up. Any parents or family or anyone who wants it, students, why don't you scooch in the middle? And we'll just make it work so we can see everyone. Okay. Well, anyone else want to take a photo? Smile, smile.
Nice job, everybody.
Okay, and January is also School Board Appreciation Month, and I will say honest, for myself, with pure humility, Ms. Weinberg.
All right. Well, good evening again, President Mitchell, Board of Directors, Superintendent Saltzman, and student representatives. Tonight, we have a very special agenda item to celebrate the contributions of our school board members during what is School Recognition Month. Each January, we pause to acknowledge the unwavering dedication, vision, and leadership of this board in cultivating a culture of student success and community collaboration. The Governor's Proclamation officially declares January 2025 as School Board Recognition Month, underscoring the essential role of elected school board members in championing public education and improving student achievement. This evening, we honor that commitment and recognize the extraordinary partnership and support that fuels our shared mission to inspire, educate, and prepare every student for success. We are joined tonight by representatives from several valued organizations here in this room, leaders and partners who work with this board, you, to achieve meaningful outcomes for all of our students. They are here tonight to express their gratitude for your dedication and your leadership. On behalf of all of us, school board directors, thank you for your tireless commitment to ensuring the best possible educational experience, again, for every student in Everett Public Schools. I want to introduce tonight's first presenter, Jared Kink, representing the Everett Education Association. Jared.
Thank you, Harmony, school board. Last year I said I was going to do an interpretive dance to honor you, but I tweaked my ankle, so I postponed to next year. First, I want to start off saying this year was one of the best starts we've ever had in a school year. I mean, when I think of kids coming, the results of test scores, just everything was smooth and stable. And I've been working in the district for over 25 years, and I can't think of a year that started this well. And that starts with you. So when I think of starts, everything that starts in our district, from curriculum that kids are using, from the employees that show up to work, to the bus routes, to the PD that the employees get. All that starts with you. You adopt all of those things. And that really sets the culture for the district. And when I look through the every area of our district, it's just such a strong culture. I'm seeing so much pride in the work that people are doing to serve the kids and the community. So very much that starts with you. I want to thank you for that. And one piece that I think is often overlooked is just the stability of you as a group. I think the community is unbelievably lucky to have a group that is just always looking out for their kids. And it's not, just put it out there, there's a lot of school districts where the school boards are fighting each other, and they're fighting each other publicly. And we don't see that here in Everett. And I think that how you work so well together, always putting the kids in the community first, that's what, it's becoming rare. And it's something we should recognize, of the amazing things that happen when people work together for a common goal. So on behalf of the 1,400 members of the Everett Education Association, we thank you and honor you tonight. I have some pies for you, a variety of them. I'll set them over here, but I like raspberry pie. So I hope you have a wonderful evening, and thank you.
Thank you.
Up next, we have Heather Morrow from the Everett Public Schools Foundation.
Good afternoon, Board and Dr. Saltzman. It's nice to see you this afternoon. My name is Heather Morrow, and I'm the board president this year of the Everett Public School Foundation. I'm here on behalf of Kay and representing the entire board to say thank you. Everett schools are a major contributor to the growing success of our community. It educates our youngest citizens and ensures they have the tools to succeed. Our schools are central to our community's ongoing economic, social, and cultural vitality. School board members play a critical part here. School Board Recognition Month is a great time for us to show our appreciation to you for all the time and effort you devote in support of the Everett Public Schools. We appreciate the countless hours advocating for our schools. Being a school board member is a challenging yet very important role to help lead our schools as they prepare our students to lead successful lives. We here in Everett are fortunate to have such thoughtful and dedicated community members guiding and supporting our students, staff, and community. On behalf of the Everett Public Schools Foundation and our donors, we thank you for the work you do for all our students, staff, schools, and our future. We are grateful for our partnership with you and for the difference you make every day. We have made something to help keep you warm to show our support. I'll hand those out. But on a quick side note, which you'll see on these, the foundation would also like to invite everyone here tonight to our very last movie benefit event on March 19th at the Civic Auditorium. Doors open at 6:30, show begins at 7. This year, you will see the Cascade High drama students perform Ileana and the Lost Donation, and you can register on our website today. So thank you. We hope to see you all there. Should I set these to the side or hand them out?
Doing that, I'll go ahead and call up Valerie Cunningham and Nicole McKnight, who are representing the Everett PTSA Council.
Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests and valued members of our community, my name is Nicole McKnight, and I am co-president along with Valerie Cunningham of Everett PTSA Council. I am here on behalf of our council board of directors as well on behalf of our 27 local PTAs within our school district. Today, we come together to honor the significant contributions of our school board members. Their commitment to our schools goes beyond mere duty. It is a passion that drives them to foster environments where students can thrive and reach their full potential. Our school board members have shown remarkable leadership and vision. They have navigated challenges with determination, working tirelessly to ensure that our schools are places of growth and opportunity. Their decisions reflect a deep understanding of our students' needs and commitment to equitable, high-quality education for everyone. It's essential to recognize the personal sacrifices made by our board members. Their dedication is evident in the hours spent attending meetings, reviewing policies, and engaging with the community to ensure every voice is heard. This commitment speaks volumes about their belief in the power of education. As a small token of our appreciation, we have prepared a gift to express our gratitude. While modest compared to their contribution, it symbolizes a heartfelt thank you. On behalf of our community, thank you, school board members, for your efforts, leadership, and dedication to our students. Your work has made a lasting impact and paves the way for a brighter future. As we wrap up this celebration, let's carry forward our appreciation and continued support our board members in their mission to enhance educational experiences for all students. Together, we can achieve remarkable things. Thank you again, school board members, for your exceptional service.
Thank you. So glad I get cards again. I actually use these.
All right, next we have Linnea Mulvaney representing the Everett Association of Educational Office Personnel.
Good evening. So as Harmony said, my name is Linnea, and I am currently the interim president representing the Everett Association of Office Professionals. It is my honor to represent my group and to express our gratitude to you, the dedicated members of our school board. We recognize the work you do can often go unnoticed, but it is absolutely vital to the success of our schools, our students, and our community. The past few years have brought a lot of challenges, and through it all, you have remained adaptable, responsive, and strong. Your commitment to our community ensures that our schools not only thrive, but evolve to meet the needs of our students. It is clear to me that your unwavering focus has always been on the most important reason we are here, our students. That is why this year our membership wants to continue our tradition of making a donation to the Everett Public Schools Foundation to continue their scholarship on behalf of the school board. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next we have Jacob Ellsworth representing the Everett Association of School Administrators.
All right, good evening, school board. On behalf of Everett Association of School Administrators, I'm honored to be here tonight to express our deepest gratitude for your incredible work and dedication as part of the National School Board Appreciation Month. We want to recognize the many hours you dedicate to shaping the future of our students and supporting the educational community. Your leadership and tireless efforts ensure that all students have the opportunity they deserve to succeed, and you consistently advocate for their needs, making a difference every day. And I also just want to take a second. I don't often agree with Jared. I'm just joking. I agree with him on lots of things. But you know, your commitment to this school, the school board, to this community is very commendable, and the collaborative nature that you guys have working together and showing a united front. But I'd also like to add, after working in many districts, the thing that I most appreciate about all of you is your engagement at the lowest level of our districts. I've seen all of you in my building for instructional reviews. I've seen you stop by at events for different schools, and I just know that you have your finger on the pulse of this school district and this community, and that is something that you don't get all the time. That takes a special amount of passion and leadership that we greatly appreciate you for. And so with that, in recognition of all your contributions, the association would like to proudly make a donation in your name to the Everett Public Schools Foundation for this upcoming year, so that you can continue to support students in the future. Thank you very much and have a good evening.
Thank you so much.
Next is Laura Peterson representing the Everett Health and Security Association.
Hello, Board, Dr. Salzman. I come before you representing our newly formed Everett Health and Safety Association, formerly the Everett License Association. So thank you for your support of that new joining of our daytime security officers with the nurses as we focus on the health and safety of the district. Everything is just already been said so eloquently, but I will say that it's been a pleasure and to work with all of you. I've worked with several various events in the community through PTAs. I've seen parent influence on some of the students and seeing them come forward to take these positions. and the role models that you all act as for everyone in the district. We are so appreciative of that. And we know that coming forward, we may face some more challenges, so we look forward to helping solve any of those that we can come forward. And just overall, we just wanted to say that you guys rock. So we have some rock stress ball kind of little things for you. But again, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
And while she's handing those out, I'm going to ask Jill Jackson to come up, who's representing the Everett Association of Paraeducators.
Thank you.
Good evening, and I'd like to thank you for being exemplary board members here in the Everett School District. I am the president of the Everett Association of Paraeducators, and the role that you guys do for us is an immense responsibility, and you do it with wisdom and integrity. As we are all aware, it takes a team to achieve educational excellence. Your commitment to the students in our district is unsurpassed. We thank you for your insight and always taking on the tough issues within our families and our community. Lastly, I would like to thank you for acknowledging the key importance of paraeducators in our district who, like this board, strive for educational excellence of our students while creating a safe and inclusive environment. As paraeducators, we are proud to be a part of this team with you. Thank you for your service. And we also have a wonderful basket that Kathy has here. I think chocolate is the theme of it. I'm not sure, but thank you again.
Thank you so much. We'll take chocolate. Put it over there and we'll grab it at the end. Thank you.
All right, and next is Dave Passy, representing the Everett Association of Professional Technical Employees.
Well, hello. Nice of you to join us. I'm Dave Passy. I represent the ProfTech group. And I have a token, small token, as you can see, of our appreciation for everything that everyone does here. It's the underpinning, if you will, of a good district, a solid district. Myself, this is my 38th year of public service. First 20 years was on active duty in the Air Force Reserves. And this is my 18th year here in the district. Seen a lot of school boards come and go. Seen a lot of ups, seen a lot of downs. Worked with many of these fine people. Peter, known for years when I first came on. And ever since then, working with new people, new colleagues, new peers, mentors. Well, there's Brian. But anyhow, I can say that because Brian is great head of LITS. I just wanted to come up here and just basically off the cuff, I don't have anything prepared, but just a genuine, sincere thanks for everything that is done behind the scenes. That is, like I said, the underpinning of a solid district that becomes an example to all of the other districts in Washington. And we know that you do hard work, sometimes unforgiving work, right? Sometimes things that are hard decisions, but decisions that need to be made. So with that, I'll close. I kind of feel like Felix the cat with this little bag of tricks, except it's a box and I'm not a cat, so the kind of analogy kind of breaks down. And my name's not Felix. Anyhow, thank you so much for everything you do. I'll pass this out and then I'll exit, but I wish you a good evening.
Thank you so much.
All right, and our final gift giver tonight and appreciation for the school board is Joel Vincent, who is representing the Everett Coaches and Extracurricular Association.
Good afternoon, board, Dr. Salzman, everybody. Before I start with my prepared remarks, I was just thinking something as everybody was talking, and this is year 35 for me in this district, and I've worked in this district in many capacities. I've been a teacher, a longtime coach and administrator, and I have to say that in any of those capacities, I've always felt deeply, deeply supported. And for that, I am very appreciative. So I get asked all the time, 35 years, all in one district. Have you ever thought about going somewhere else? And my response is, why would I, right? The stability that you guys provide, the leadership that you guys provide makes this a great place to be. And so I always tell people I'm very, very fortunate. So get the screensaver off my phone here. So good afternoon. I am Joel Vincent. I am proud to represent the hardworking and dedicated members of the ECA as their president. These members fill the almost 450 athletic coaching and extracurricular advising positions across the district. I'm here today on behalf of the association to extend our thanks and gratitude to the school board. The board shares our passion for creating learning and growth opportunities for our students that go beyond the classroom. We know, and research shows, that these opportunities in sports and extracurricular activities help to create a goal-oriented, well-rounded, capable, and connected young people. The lessons our students learn while participating in these endeavors enhances and broadens what they are learning in the classroom. So again, on behalf of the ECA, I would like to thank the school board for your focus, commitment, dedication, and above all else, servant leadership to the district and the families and the children that we serve. We couldn't do it without you. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'd like to get a photo with all of our reps.
Well, some have left, but yeah, those that remain.
Can you guys want to come forward and we'll get a photo with the school board?
Every service left. I think I can say for all of us, it's because of you, the students, the staff, and the community that you serve, that we all sit up here today. So thank you so much. I now have my agenda. That moves us on to section 7.0, Superintendent's Report. Dr. Saltzman.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair, Board of Directors, and to the public this evening. First of all, congratulations, Board, for your acknowledgements today. You're an outstanding board, and it's always nice to hear it from our community tonight. I'd like to start off my report this evening with just a few comments to our public. As part of our commitment to ensuring safe and inclusive schools, I want to reiterate that Everett Public Schools will continue to support and serve all our students. Last week on January 23rd, I shared a message with staff and families about our district's school board policies and procedures that protect and support all students, including those impacted by immigration status. Our district policies, Policy 4300 and Procedure 4411P, align with state guidelines that reflect our commitment to upholding the rights of every child, regardless of their background or circumstances. In Everett Public Schools, we ensure that every child has access to a safe and welcoming learning environment. No student is treated differently based on immigration status. We remain focused on connecting families to resources that promote student success and well-being. The work is at the core of who we are as a district. I want to thank our staff, our families, and our community for their shared commitment to creating a safe, inclusive spaces where all students can thrive. Thank you. I'd like to now get into my report for the overall district happenings. Thank you. I want to take a moment to thank the families and students who joined us for our Let's Connect event on January 16th. It was inspiring to see our community demonstrating a shared interest in preparing our students and our parents and families for a future where artificial intelligence will play a significant role. Let's Connect meetings provide space for open communication, engagement, and collaboration with our families, students, and staff, and our community. We hold them a few times a year to discuss relevant and pertinent topics impacting education. We certainly can agree that AI is a hot topic in education right now, and that's exactly why we took center stage for our latest Let's Connect. During the event, we explored the evolution of AI and its application in education. We learned a lot, even myself and even staff. Key discussions focused on the use of AI, as well as Everett Public Schools resources, such as the AI Handbook, teacher resources, and the ongoing work of our AI Committee, which includes approximately 40 of our teachers across all grade levels, paraprofessionals, and staff. These initiatives, along with our AI Student Committee feedback, will guide us in responsible implementation of AI in our classrooms. Finally, the attendees that had the opportunity to interact with AI tools and provide us feedback on the considerations was so important as we plan ahead with AI. I would like to thank the LITS team and the communications team for their outstanding work to make sure that this occurred. Thank you. The feedback has been positive. 73% of our Let's Connect found our meeting informative. More than 53% say they enjoyed the questions and answered the most, followed by 33% saying that table discussions were their favorite part. As we look ahead, the feedback provided thoughtful suggestions for areas of focus. Attendees highlight the importance of addressing ethical considerations, such as bias mitigation and ensuring safeguards are in place to protect student privacy and safety. Additionally, some attendees expressed interest in seeing more Connect on AI applications in the classroom for future sessions. It was a great example of how our community came together to learn together and to collaborate together. Again, a special thank you to all staff that contributed, and as we continue keeping everybody informed on the AI. Thank you. I now have some exciting news to share about electric school buses. Last September, we started to use these 3 electric buses in our system. We have secured an additional funding from the U.S. Environment Protection Agency and the Department of Ecology to increase our electric bus fleet. By 2026, Everett Public Schools will now have a total of 15 electric buses. In addition, our transportation contractor, Durham School Services, recently acquired 25 propane buses for our district. The district expects to save over $200,000 annually by using propane instead of diesel or unleaded gasoline. These initiatives align with Washington State's broader efforts to transition to zero-emission school buses. So great job for everybody, and thank you for supporting these initiatives. Our community continues to show deep care for our schools, and we truly appreciate their support and contributions. Penny Creek Elementary School received another generous $10,000 gift from the Doan family, along with $10,000 matching donation from Boeing on behalf of Jeff Doan. These funds will be used to purchase security cameras, PE gym equipment, and a sensory walk to support school-wide social-emotional learning at Penny Creek. I want to thank you for the time tonight, and that is my report.
Thank you, Dr. Saltzman. Now is section 8.0 board comments. Director Herman, would you like to begin?
Happy to, thank you. I want to start by just addressing the groups that came for appreciation tonight and just say that we really appreciate hearing back from those groups. And I think over the years, I've just really grown to appreciate more and more the partnerships and the strength of our district really comes from that foundation of collaboration of us all working together. So thank you. And since this is School Board Appreciation Month, I want to thank my fellow school board members. It is a fantastic board to work on. We had heard from Dr. Saltzman about the Let's Connect for AI, and I was able to attend that and discuss with families there and learn a lot. So thank you to Brian Beckley for that and everyone who came. I do appreciate that we are keeping up with this topic. We hear about it really daily in the news, and it's constantly changing. And then the other activity I got to participate in between our last board meeting was one of my favorites, and that is taking place at our high schools in the college and career readiness seminars, and those are the mock interviews that we get to conduct. And I was at Cascade and Jackson High School interviewing seniors, and it's really fun to get to sit down one-on-one with those seniors, look at their resume, hear about their future plans, and so just appreciate Sarah Hewitt for those invitations to do those, and that's it.
Dr. Robolinski?
I would just like to express my gratitude for all of the recognition. For me, it's a labor of love, and it's an honor and pleasure to partner with all of you and the organizations that you represent to provide a high-quality education to every one of our students. Thanks.
Thank you. Director Mason?
Well, it's kind of already been said, but I did find it interesting and serendipitous that tonight our core value champions were all about collaboration, because not only is there collaboration amongst the directors here and have been for many, many years since I've been on the board, but also collaboration with the district and the groups within the district. There's, we heard a lot tonight about how it starts with us setting the direction, but it's really all the feet on the ground that make it happen. And so without that kind of collaboration, our district would not be what it is today. So I just want to say thank you for all the lovely words tonight, but also thank you for all the work that you folks do.
Dr. Atkins?
Yeah, I don't have too many things to say, but I do really appreciate all the recognition, and just thank you to all the staff who do such incredible work on behalf of our kids. I also want to thank Dr. Saltzman and, again, all of our staff for just all the work that you guys are doing to keep our kids safe in these very, very uncertain times. And I know reading the news every day, it just feels like a avalanche of awfulness, but just thank you all for just doing the work that you do. And yeah, and thank you also to my fellow board members for just being collaborative and doing such incredible work for our kids. And that's the extent of my remarks. So.
I'd like to give my appreciation to the board for giving me this opportunity to serve and share my input so you guys can help better the education of all the other students in the district. And speaking of input, what I'd like to shine some light on tonight is how much support the seniors get from our counselors and CCRS program, whether it's future careers or scholarship opportunity or helping with the FAFSA or even just looking for colleges. There's just countless amounts of support high school seniors get, and I'd like to thank the district and our CCRS and counselors for just giving that to everyone and making sure people are all on track to graduate. And secondly, I'd like to thank Dr. Saltzman for his message to the district in response to recent changes from the federal government.
Thank you.
I want to acknowledge specifically teachers for doing such a great job in incorporating AI into our into our work and helping us not depend on them, but knowing how to use them correctly. And I also want to thank you all for giving me this opportunity to be here too. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm actually going to be just a little bit wordy because I want to recognize the work of our finance department and all of the people that it took to do our audits post-COVID. Because we get a Friday report, and in our one 2 weeks ago, I'm going to read exactly what was written here. It's the district received the management decision letter from the Federal Communications, or FCC, regarding the federal single audit report findings for the 2021-2022 and then 2022-2023 fiscal years related to the receipt of Emergency Connectivity Fund program funding. So this is our COVID money. This is when we were at the heat of COVID and we were getting computers out, we were getting food out, we were getting everything out. After reviewing the Washington State Auditor's report and the district's response thereto, the FCC determined the district complied with the Emergency Connectivity Fund program rules in determining the unmet need and the per unit limit documentation. Therefore, the FCC determined that the district does not need to return grant funds received totaling $1,520,800 for the 2021-2022 school year. This is from our general fund, and $3,600 for the 22-2023 school year coming out of our capital fund. The FCC waived section 5.1703 of their rules regarding the auditor's procurement findings for the 2021-2022 school year because the district made a good faith attempt to comply with the established procurement requirements during the COVID-19 emergency period. And I think this is very, very important because this multi-million dollars is not money that we have to give back. It is money we used on our students, that you all did everything correctly, and the federal government recognized that. And I want to thank you all and let the community know that this is really, really good news for us. So that was the stuff I wanted to say because I think it's really good news. So now I also did the high school reviews, and it's the first time I've been to Everett High, and I met a young man with a plan. He is graduating whenever the semester ends right now, or if it ended, he's graduating because he wanted to graduate early. He is joining the Navy in July. And I said, what are you doing between now and July? And he said, I have a job. And so I talked to Ms. Pruitt, who runs these programs, and she said, that's the ideal, that these students have a plan. I met another student that she's already been accepted to UW, and very excited. She's a 4.0 young lady. And so it was sort of really, really great. Some of the comments were made here about this, the recognition. I do really appreciate it, and it's because of all of you that I get to do this. There is, if students, these tend to be the dark days of winter, and we've had exceptional sunshine. But for any students or community members, the staff and everybody that's out there that we serve, please, if you need help, go to your counseling services, nursing, leadership in your school, and see about if you need service. And then I'm hoping to run a very efficient rest of this meeting because I need to head to Jackson to see how they play against Arlington. Could be a tough basketball game tonight, but I'm excited to see it. So thank you. So now it is time for public comment. Dr. Saltzman, are there any requests for public comment this evening?
Madam Chair, there's no public comment at this time.
Thank you. That moves us on to the legislative update, section 10.0. Director Rovolinski.
Thank you. This is my first legislative update of substance. I'm super jazzed. We're now 15 days into the legislative session. The Senate Early Learning and K-12 Education Committee met, which is chaired by Senator Wellman. They held hearings on special education, transportation, and MSOC, among other things. And they'll take action on January 30th on a couple important bills. Specifically related to special education, Senate Bill 5263 and 5307, they increase special education funding through higher multiples and improve the spec ed safety net by reducing the threshold from 2.3 to 1.5 times the average per pupil spend. There should be some bills merge that are pretty similar, and further action is expected on Thursday. They heard about Senate Bill 5187, which is focused on directing OSPI to develop a recommendation for overhauling the student transportation funding model, starting with a comprehensive analysis of transportation costs. If passed, this could take effect in the 29-30 school year. And finally, MSOC, Senate Bill 5192, and its partner bill, or the House bill, 1338, proposes increasing funding by 10 to 20%. The House bill provides the larger boost. Both bills address gaps that arose due to inflation in operating costs. and Senate Bill 5192 is expected to be heard at committee on January 30th. Finally, Senate Bill 1590 extends the deadlines for school districts to comply with the Clean Buildings Act. It was passed through the Senate Early Learning and K-12 Education Committee and is moving to the Senate Environmental, Energy, and Technology Committee next.
Thank you. And congratulations on your new role and first long report. Now we'll move on to the consent agenda. Dr. Saltzman, have you received any questions about a consent agenda item?
Thank you, Madam Chair. In the case of this consent agenda, the Superintendent's Office received no questions regarding the consent agenda.
Thank you. First, does any director wish to remove an item from the consent agenda and place it in the regular business section? Okay. Seeing none, is there an objection to adopting the consent agenda by general consent? Seeing none, the consent agenda is approved by general consent. That moves us on to section 12.0, strategic progress monitoring. Tonight we have the capital projects update. Mr. Fleckenstein.
Well, thank you and good evening, President Mitchell, Board of Directors, Superintendent Saltzman, and student representatives. I'm excited to give you an update on our capital projects planning and to share with the community and the board the amazing work that's going on because of the support of our public into our capital program. Our objective this evening is to provide the board an update on capital projects funded from the 2022 capital levy and our school construction assistance program, also referred to as SCAP funds, and then update you on our recent progress on the bond planning committee. Just a brief summary of our 2022 capital levy for our public. Our support of voters to pass the levy in 2022 was a total of $325.5 million. The allocation of that is $229.5 million for facilities and planning, let's call it construction. And then $96 million was attached to the technology for our one-to-one device initiative replacement. And with me tonight are a few of the key people that make everything that you're going to see this evening actually happen. I thought about a cool name to introduce them. Some people might refer to them as like a posse or some kind of like a wrecking crew, but that would be the opposite of what they are. They're actually a building crew. And so I'd like to just, if you wouldn't mind drawing your attention behind me, in no uncertain order, to start off is Darcy Walker, Director of Facilities and Planning, Stephen Kraus, Senior Construction Manager, Matt Finch, Senior Construction Manager, Jill Collins, Construction Manager. Oh, sorry, Jennifer. You get up here and I swear to God, Kim Ames, Facilities and Planning Specialist. And you can tell when we were talking about collaboration earlier, they have no filter to just jump right in and correct me, which I appreciate about them. They're a great team. Jill Stoffel, who is our capital projects accountant. Thank you for everything that you do. And I want to give special recognition to the very last person I'm going to introduce. She not only is the person who keeps all this team held together and organized, but she keeps me in line. And that is Darcy Knutson, our executive assistant. So thank you, Darcy. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to the team and Darcy Walker to give you an update on our projects.
Thank you, Larry. Good evening, Board of Directors. Superintendent Saltzman, it's my pleasure to give you a brief update on the 2022 capital levy and the projects that we're going to first run through the completed projects. But again, I must say, I probably got the best job here in the district, and working with this team is wonderful. I can't say they do so much work, and again, everything you see here, all these projects are undertaken by this small group. So to get back to the 2022 capital levy, some of the projects that you'll see that we have completed are new badge access control at Cascade and Everett High. The picture to your right, you can see that we have the card reader on the face of it with the door opener, the ADA door opener right underneath that. And then you can see the intercom, the visual intercom that we can buzz people in and out of the building. We've also completed the security fencing at Everett High School. You might recall that that fencing runs from the north side of the main building to the little theater. We've replaced bleachers at Henry M. Jackson High School in the cafeteria, and we've also replaced the bleachers at the Cascade High Gymnasium. We've installed lock sets at Cascade High School and Everett High, or Jackson High, pardon me. You might recall that the lock sets, this is a secure lock set. It's a lock set where the teacher can literally open the door, push a button on the side of the lock set, close the door, and it's locked. So in case of a lockdown, it's very quick and easy to lock that door. It doesn't need keys, so we're going to roll this out through all of our schools. And in fact, just over winter break, Whittier Elementary was also completed. The CTE lab at Jackson High School is operational and running, so we're proud of that. Again, collaborating with our CTE team, Anthony Anderson and his team. We've completed this flooring upgrades at Silver Firs Elementary and the painting at Eisenhower Middle. Some of the, and Larry had mentioned the School Construction Assistance Program funding, SCAP funding. We use that to backfill projects that don't have any specific funding. So for example, at Cascade High, Building 2's HVAC has pretty much, that system had aged out. We needed to replace it. So we replaced the boiler plant, all of the piping in that building, 27 heat pumps up in the attic, and the chillers. So along with controls, so brand new systems. We replaced the boiler plant at Building 4 at Cascade High, and we also replaced the gym floor. I was worried that if we built the new bleachers on the old floor, they were heavier, they would destroy the old floor, so we wanted to make sure that, and that floor was not in very good shape, so I'm proud that we were able to replace that floor. We replaced the boiler plant at Eisenhower Middle, and we built a new baseball field at Silver Lake Elementary. You can see the picture in the lower right. We have an ADA access out to that facility now, and we pushed it further east along the field. You might recall that we had placed portable classrooms that were in the way of our Little League teams being able to use that field. We had closed it, so proud to say we've reopened that field. And we also have an ongoing responsibility with the county and the cities to continue to maintain and or rebuild our retention ponds and that wetland system. So we were able to do that at Heatherwood and at Woodside. Some of the 2022 capital levy projects that are current, we're going to complete phase 2, which will complete the entire school. So new flooring at Emerson Elementary. We're also installing a new playground at Emerson. We do one of those a year. We've got 3 roofs. I show 2 on this slide, but there's actually 3. So we're going to update the Penny Creek roof, North Satellite Bus roof, and we're going to replace the roof on Building 2 at Cascade High. We're also replacing fire alarm systems at Silver Firs and Mill Creek Elementaries. And then we've got, again, lock sets, secure lock sets. We're going to continue that at Everett High, Sequoia High, Evergreen Middle School. We're also in the process of completing the fencing at Cascade High School. This will be security fencing, so it's an ornamental fence. It has several gates within those fence pieces, and those gates are on our card access system. So that is currently underway and will complete here in the spring. And with that, I'll turn it over to Matt.
Thank you, Darcy. So continuing on with our current projects, excited to announce that next month we're going to be starting the educational specifications and design phase for the Everett High School modernization of the auditorium building. For those that aren't familiar with the educational specification process, it's a structured approach that articulates our educational philosophy and program goals into the physical needs of the school. It's a stakeholder-involved process that ensures the built learning environment supports and enhances our educational objectives. So the resulting board-approved EdSpec document is then used as a guideline through the design process. And kind of on a fun side note, my wife is an Everett High grad, and so at home I don't know who's more excited about this project, her or I, so that's pretty neat.
And there's a picture of the cafeteria that resides within that building in the upper right-hand corner there. And then in the lower right-hand corner is a picture of the Cascade tennis court. We're going to be resurfacing that set of courts along with all the courts at Jackson High School and some select courts at Heatherwood Middle School. And that work will take place this summer.
All right, furthering on current projects, quick update on Clean Buildings Act. Some of you may know that was signed into law in 2019. That law just briefly requires that for what they call Tier 1 buildings, those are 50,000 square feet and larger, there's two components that are required. One is an energy performance requirement, and the other is an energy management plan that's essentially a plan that annually requires us to complete a best-in-class PM, or preventive maintenance on the building. There's also a Tier 2, which is buildings between 20,000 and 50,000 square feet, and that's just the EMP plan, energy management plan. There's no energy performance requirement currently on those. A good example of what we're doing right now is that third bullet, where you can see that at Jackson High School, last summer we started to replace all of the HVAC equipment in the school. So that's all the heating, all the cooling, all the ventilating equipment. And we're about 60% done now. We have recently just pulled the old chillers out and put new chillers on site. We're in the process of hooking those up, and then we'll do the startup before they're needed in the spring. And then this coming summer, we'll finish the rest of the installation work, and that'll include refurbishing the air handling units, all new heat recovery units, and the replacement of the remaining controls. Below that, you'll see that at Evergreen, Heatherwood, and Gateway, we've got some projects that are going to begin in this summer, and they are similar to Jackson, but not quite as extensive, where we're doing HVAC upgrades. So those will bring extra efficiency in those buildings and help us to meet that energy performance requirement. I should point out that if we don't meet these requirements, we could be subject to penalties. So we could very much use that extra time, hoping that goes through in the legislature. Our first major project on the 2022 capital levy is going to be the replacement of Jackson Elementary School. So here's a brief update on that. Last summer, we took the 4 portables that were currently on site and relocated those onto the field. We added 3 more so that we could increase some space for the school to relocate certain components of the school operation into. And then we are very, very close to having a general contractor under contract. You awarded that in a recent meeting, and we're working on dotting the i's and crossing the t's on that process. They're going to begin this spring, and they're going to build a new building adjacent to the existing building. And the footprints overlap a little bit. So we're not going to be able to build out the new gym and the new stage on the new building, but we will complete all of that, less the gym and stage. And then in the summer of '26, we're going to move from the existing building into that new building. And then that'll allow us to demo that existing building. So that makes the way for us, that overlap I described, is gone at that point and paves the way for us to complete the gym and the stage. We'll follow that with building a new parking lot where the building used to be, which will be a new feature for the school. And once that's done, we will modernize the covered play area and restore the field. So that'll all wrap up about the summer of 2027. So if looking at a partial floor plan and a site plan, let me just briefly orient you to this. You can't quite see, but there's a compass heading in the top right. North is top of the page. And for those of you familiar with the site, on the right-hand side, not shown, is Federal Avenue, which is the main corridor that accesses that neighborhood. And that's currently where our parent drop-off and pickup is located. If you look at the building, the yellow areas are essentially the majority of the public space, which is the commons and the gym and the stage. And the white line right above them is a corridor that goes all the way across the school. I'll explain why that's important in just a moment. And above that is instructional space. So the second floor plan is essentially a second layer of classrooms above the ones that you see here in blue, as well as a library above the admin area. A few key things about this layout that I wanted to point out to you. First of all, is really accessibility. Right now, this site has about 40 feet of elevation difference between one corner to the other corner. Those of you that have seen it, it goes uphill quite a ways from the front street. And the current school is on 4 different levels. So for certain access to certain areas, they have to go out of the building, around the building, and into another door on the other side and back in. So we're really, really thrilled that we're being able to modernize this facility and solve problems like that. Other things that I could point out are, I mentioned there were 4 portables existing. We're adding capacity as we rebuild the school. So the current plan is that as it opens, we would not need any of those portables. So pretty thrilled about that as well. I mentioned the parent drop-off and pickup being on the main thoroughfare to the neighborhood on Federal Avenue, just on the right of the screen that's not shown. And that'll move into this new parking lot. So we're really excited about that, and the neighborhood is going to like that, and the city's traffic department is very pleased with that as well. Lastly, there's a feature to this site that if you've ever been there in the afternoon on a warm day, you'll notice that in the top right corner, you see the green circles. Those are some beautiful mature oak trees. And often the parents will sit in the benches under them, watch their kids play in the lawn underneath, and catch up. And they'll chat about what's going on in their lives. And it's a park-like environment that we got a lot of strong feedback that they would really like to preserve. So we have essentially half the acreage here that we have in a typical elementary school. It's a very tight site. And we're very happy that we're able to preserve that and that it was not really in the way of construction. So a lot of good things going on there. As we look at the outside, this is artist renderings, or some will call them perspectives, that essentially show a street view. So this is from that Federal Avenue, that main street I was telling you about, looking at the front of the school. The light colored material you see is a masonry product. It's ground-faced block. And we've seen that on some other schools, and it's performing well. It's accented by some wood grain panels that you see. And there's also a few color pops. You might see some light blue and some green on the sides of the windows. So that'll give it a little bit of the playful fun that elementary schools will need. So we think we have a nice looking building here, and there was emphasis actually put on trying to design something that would fit in a neighborhood environment as well. As we move around to the right-hand side of the school, we actually own a parking lot on the north side there. And if you were standing in that looking south toward the school, here's what you would see. So those 2 levels of classrooms that I mentioned to you, you're looking at them right there. There's a gray material on the lower left corner. We have sort of back of house stuff there, mechanical and electrical space, and a generator behind that sort of gray, light gray looking wall that you see. Moving around a little bit further, this would be the back side of the school. Our bus loop will be just on the left-hand side of that decorative fence that you see. And this courtyard area is actually adjacent to the kindergarten space. So on that first floor, straight ahead of you is where our kindergarten classrooms will be. And there will be some skilled classrooms on the right. And they'll have direct access into the space. So it'll be a beautiful place for them to have an outdoor experience that's protected and safe and right there in the school. As we move inside, here's a view of that corridor I was describing to you that separates the public and the instructional space. And this has a feature in it that's kind of new to us. So we haven't done a whole lot with graphics. And our architect came in and said, hey, there's a new material we really want you to look at. Prices come way down on this. It's extremely durable. And we've got some exciting ideas about things we can do with it. So they showed us this. And one of the reasons this is important is that there's a salmon theme at this school. In the 80s, they adopted a creek, the local Pigeon Creek. They helped restore that. And salmon actually came back and repopulated the creek. They've had salmon aquariums. Their school mascot is the salmon. And the fish you see here, some of these are actually salmon. So this is a little bit of of an artist viewpoint, if you will, a little bit artistic, it's a blend between realism and art that shows an aquatic environment, right? So you'll see some aquatic plants, you see the wavy lines. It's really meant to show the movement of the water. And it moves through 3 different parts of water, so estuaries and the ocean and rivers and streams. And when we saw this, we engaged our STEM department. Said, hey, you know, some people like to use the building as an instructional aid. We've got an opportunity here that might really benefit you. And so they came back and said, we actually have a salmon component of our curriculum, and this is really exciting for us. So we're in the process of working with them to dial this in and make sure that this is accurate in terms of what they need to show the students, so they can actually walk them out of the classroom and let them see this in like a real life aquarium kind of setting. So there will be informational plaques that you really don't see here as well. So it can be kind of if an adult comes in and they're having an event in the gym, they can kind of walk down the hall, and it'll be really neat. So we're very excited about this. This is another view of that wall. This is from the upper level in the 2-story part of the classrooms. Look, going down the main staircase. On the right-hand side, you see a breakout area where this design features those in each cluster of classrooms. And on the left-hand side, just out of view is the library. It'll have a beautiful view of the Cascades, probably the best in the district. And the white wall you see is actually their workroom, and then beyond it, the access into the staff room. So Madison Elementary is another one I'm going to update you on. And Madison, some of you may know, is kind of the OG baby boomer. Why do I say that? Well, it was built 2 years after World War II ended. So this school is ready. And we're really thrilled that we're going to be able to replace it. And this one will be a little bit more traditional. So what we like to do is build on the field and move into the school, tear the other building down, and then put the field where the building used to be. That's a lot less painful for the school. This will not be a phased project like I described with Jackson. And so this one should be just a home run. So we are about to start the educational specifications. Matt did a great job of describing those. What we do here with that will be exactly similar. And what I mean by that is that it's going to be the exact same process, but it'll be tailored to this school, this community, and the needs of that group specifically. We're about to start that later next month. Following that will be the design by our architectural and engineering team. We'll bid that project, and then in the spring of '27, construction will begin. So we should have that new building, well, we will have that new building ready in the summer of 2028. We'll move into that, following with demolishing that and building the play field.
So continue on with future projects and building on the Clean Buildings Act work that Stephen alluded to earlier. We're going to be completing the second phase of the Evergreen Middle School mechanical upgrade project and the mechanical upgrades to Sequoia High School. And then in 2027, again, excited to kick off the construction for the Everett High auditorium building modernization. And we will also be starting off the design and permitting phase for the Cascade High Science Building.
Yeah, and you might recall that with a capital levy, the money comes in payments from the county and from our taxes on April and October, so we have to kind of build the bank. Then we spend it, and then we build a bank, spend it. And so some of these projects are being pushed out a little ways, but it's just simply due to the funding mechanisms. And then some of the other funding mechanisms, I wanted to give you a quick brief update on the school construction assistance program funding that we have available to us in the current levy. Jackson Elementary School, we're eligible for SCAP funding for that project. In fact, my team and I are working through that process. It's a 12-step process. That we work through with OSPI. And we're deep into that process. Madison Elementary, Everett High's auditorium replacement or modernization, and then the Cascade High Science Building replacement are also eligible. Those 4 projects may bring us back as much as $36 million. Now, we spend that money, right? We front fund our projects, and then as we get 2/3, 3/4 of the way through, we start to request reimbursements from OSPI. And then by the end of the job or shortly after it's done, we pretty much have been able to capture all of that funding source.
Well, I just want to thank the team for being here today. And as you can tell, the meticulous nature of this particular department around something so important, which is the generosity of our public and the gifts they give us through the voting process to approve our bonds and levies. Moving forward in that critical work to ensure that our facilities are well taken care of and we create learning environments that are conducive and supportive for staff, students, and our community. On December 10th, this board approved a resolution to form a capital bond planning committee who would meet to review the needs of the district and submit a report to the superintendent by June 24th of this year about the next steps and prioritization of the work that needs to take place within the capital projects. That committee formation was solicited for participation on December 16th. We ended up completing the application and review process by committee of all the applications that we received. As a result, 29 community members and staff representing a broad cross-section of our community were selected, in addition to 2 principals and 2 assistant principals, and then 1 student representing each of our high schools in the district. Our next steps on the committee's timeline is we are just about to enter the first series of meetings. The first is on February 6th. We will have a meeting essentially each month, all the way through May, and that will culminate in that recommendation to the superintendent on June 24th. I do want our public to know that the Bond Planning Committee, we do have a web page on our website under the Task Force and Advisories page, and you can see that there, and then link to all the updated information after each meeting will be posted there. Not only the agendas and the presentations that were provided, but any supplemental documents that were used of the committee to help them understand and work into creating a potential package and report as a recommendation to the superintendent. So with that, I just would like to thank everybody for the attention to detail in today's presentation and for your patience. I know there's a lot of great work going on in Everett. It does take a bit of time to get through. And thank you to the team for helping convey that critical work to our public this evening. And thank you.
Yeah, thank you all. Are there any questions or comments? Director Revolinsky?
First, okay, on page 10, we see like the diagram of Jackson Elementary, and I'm curious if or when we need to install portables, where would they go? You know?
You mean in the future?
Yep.
Like after
Yeah.
this is built?
Yep.
Well, I think I can have Darcy come up and answer that question for you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, if and when we need to install portables here, they'd probably go on the playfield or adjacent to, there is a little bit of room adjacent to the covered play as well. We might be able to get 1 or 2 portables in there, but probably on the field.
Thank you. Okay, and one more. This is on page 18. At the bottom of the page, we say that the district may be reimbursed for SCAP funds, and I'm curious, do we budget the full amount, or is there some kind of a haircut or a rule of thumb we use in the budget for that?
Yeah, so great question. In preparing for the 2022 capital levy, I was in touch with my counterpart down in OSPI who is in charge of the SCAP funding program for our district, or our area, and he and I worked together to establish that number. We think it's a safe number, and so I'm hoping to recapture at least 36 million.
Is that how we budget then? Is that?
So when we budget our entire, so we front fund the entire projects. So all these projects are front funded. The SCAP monies, SCAP monies help us pay for any any escalation costs that we might not have. I mean, let's face it, we carry 4% escalation in our estimates back from 2021. And escalation in our area has been more like 8 to 10 to 12% a year. So this helps with some of those overages. And it helps also, as I mentioned earlier, with we have projects that come up, a boiler plant, just goes kaput and we got to replace it. And this money, it saves us.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Other questions? Director Herman?
Thanks. Staying with the, related to SCAP, those are, because it's reimbursement, those are unrestricted. Is that correct? Because we've already done the work. Funds out the door.
Yes, yes and no. We like to think of them more along the line as bond money.
Yeah.
They can't, or levy monies, we're paying for this as levy. So we're pretty careful about what we use that money for.
Yeah, well, and naturally, obviously, capital projects and such. And a couple other questions. First of all, thanks for all the work. I thought it was great. There's a lot in there. Great presentation. I know there's a lot of excitement for Jackson Elementary, and it'll be an exciting few years. Thanks for preserving some of the features that I think were made that so special. With Madison coming up after that, and the Jackson team, I believe, felt they were very included in the process. I'm assuming we're sort of using that same footprint of process for Madison when we get to that stage.
Yeah, as Matt described, we are using the same process for each of the school sites. And the involvement of the principal in identifying those participants is a key piece of that. And then also the involvement of regional superintendents in that and other related staff. So,
right.
Yes.
It's exciting work. Related to the HVAC systems, I know a lot of our capital projects are very visible to the public. Sometimes the HVAC systems and things like that, they need to be fixed. But if we're putting in more energy efficient items, are we, through the performance standards, are we going to be capturing energy efficiency based on the new standards that we will be able to report out?
Well, it's interesting that you mentioned that. We do have a sustainability update that's coming up to the board here shortly, where examples of that, where new construction meeting the new energy and building codes related to energy conservation does yield a noticeable decrease in the use of energy it takes to maintain a building with heating and cooling. So no spoilers here, but just want you to know we'll be sharing some of that comparison for you in that update.
Okay, great, thank you very much.
Other questions? Yeah, Director Wilson.
Yeah. So I had a question around the Everett High project, clarification of sort of what that includes, because we're calling it the auditorium building, but it's my understanding the auditorium is not being renovated and the cafeteria and all the classrooms are. Is that correct?
More or less.
Just
So
for-
so the name's a little deceiving. So the majority of the work is going to be the cafeteria proper within the auditorium building and the surrounding educational spaces that are in that in that building as well. The band and orchestra, junior ROTC down in the basement currently. There may be some modest improvements to the auditorium proper, but mostly that'll be like fire alarm or building systems type upgrade. So we're not currently anticipating much work that's going to happen in the auditorium itself.
I would highly emphasize in your communications that the lunchroom is going to be updated, because the cafeteria, because anybody who's ever been inside that cafeteria will be celebrating.
Understood.
I had two other really unimportant questions. One, the Cascade property to the west of the building between Arco and the tire store there is, I noticed today, there's construction going on.
Yeah, where'd the trees go, right?
Yeah, so we don't own that, correct? That's not school district property?
We do not. That is, my understanding, is going to be a car wash.
Ah, okay. I know so many students access the school via that route, so just want to make sure that they're
Just,
safe during construction.
There's a walking entrance there, but not driving.
Yeah, it will be helpful to have I can't believe I'm saying this, the tree's gone, only because of the activity that was occurring there, but not the trees. And then, I don't know if this is a question or a recommendation, but has there been any conversation around striping the tennis courts with pickleball lines when you redo them?
It's funny you mentioned that.
It's a very popular sport and very accessible.
Yes, there has been some discussion around that. Shanae Cole, our community services coordinator, has asked that same question, and yes, we will consider that. Thank you.
It'd make our community very happy, I'm sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Other questions or comments? No? No. I want to say thank you. And I noticed you said making sure Jackson matches the community. It looks like very mid-century modern. So it looks really nice. Not that I know anything about
Has nothing to do
architecture.
with my design aesthetic.
Yeah, I know nothing about architecture except for what I like and don't like. So thank you so much. So that moves us on to upcoming agenda. Oops, excuse me. Information discussion. So we have a food and nutrition update. Spotlight, presentation. I just am fine.
Thank you, Board of Directors. Oops, I need to share first. It's my pleasure tonight to not have to speak to financial statements, actually. And honestly, I won't be doing much of the speaking. So thank you, Board of Directors, Dr. Saltzman, student representatives. Tonight, we have a department spotlight on the programs and services provided by the Food and Nutrition Services Department. I want to highlight how the work that we do in this department supports our strategic priorities. We really value community engagement, accessing resources to all of our students, and creating a supportive culture where each student is engaged and thrives and values. And again, I want to also highlight the innovative ideas that comes through the department in partnership with other areas within the district. And it's going to highlight just more than just what we do to serve breakfast and lunch. It'll highlight some of the grant programs we're looking at, our partnership with our special education program, and as well as those are some of the two key highlights. And I'll turn it over to our Director of Food and Nutrition, Adam Pastor.
Thank you very much. Good evening, Board of Directors, Dr. Saltzman. I want to start with Director Mason. Thank you so much for your comments about the Everett High lunchroom. I will be there celebrating with you when that project is completed. And I know Darcy has left the room, but honestly, I think I have the best job in the district. So with all due respect to his work. But I do want to say thank you again for inviting me to speak with you about all of the great work that's happening throughout our district. As Andy introduced me, I am Adam Pastor. I'm the Director of Food Nutrition for the district, and I'm here to say that while reading, writing, and arithmetic are taught in our classrooms, for many of our students, their learning truly begins in the cafeteria with well-nourished bodies and minds. I'm sure it will come to no surprise to anybody on the board today when I say that it takes an army of talented cooks to prepare the more than 4,000 breakfasts and 10,000 meals that we serve every day to our students. This work is only possible because I lead an amazing group of professionals who, in most cases, are parents themselves of our very own students. And they work tirelessly to serve not just their own children, but their entire communities. And what I hope to make clear tonight is the understanding that our food and nutrition teams at every single one of our schools really are essential partners in the academic achievement of our students. At Food and Nutrition, we are more than just hot lunch. We are responsive to the changing needs of our communities. We serve meals 12 months a year. And perhaps most importantly, we are the trusted individuals responsible for providing nutrition care to every student ages 4 through 21. And last year, we served more than 2.5 million meals to our children. This year, because the needs of our community are growing, we are on track to exceed that again. But our passions reach beyond chopping vegetables and scooping Mandarin chicken, although we love that too, Dr. Saltzman. We are community builders. We are equity champions, and we are student achievement enthusiasts. And I'm so excited to tell you more about our work. I was invited primarily to talk about an amazing grant that we have that helps us build agriculture and community partnerships. And so I want to tell you a little bit more about our Farm to School grant, which is funded through the Washington State Department of Agriculture. It operates on a 2-year budget and provides us as school operators with some flexibility in how we use those funds, really to make the most out of our student care that we provide. For the budget period that ends in 2025, Everett Public Schools was awarded just a little more than $197,000 to support this work. About a quarter of those funds we allocated to improve physical assets in our kitchens by way of adding salad bars and steamers to many of the sites that you see before you. As it is often the case, as our construction teams and facilities teams highlighted, initiatives and programs change so much faster than our equipment. And so part of our work really is to make sure that we are investing in our kitchen spaces to meet the changing demands of our students. And every single student deserves to enter a cafeteria where farm fresh produce is beautifully displayed and food can be cooked in the gentlest way possible. The vast majority of the grant funds, however, really are utilized for purchasing local foods. Washington schools have benefited from local dairy for a long time. Our milk comes to us from Olympia. Our yogurt is produced locally in Auburn. But these funds allow us to expand that reach even further. Agriculture, as you know, is a great source of pride in our state, and our Farm to School program seeks to highlight the abundance of our region. It would be impossible to highlight every single local ingredient that we've brought into our students over these last 18 months. But you get a general sense of where we're able to find partnerships and bring in fresh produce. The other challenge that we have is that the academic year and the growing seasons don't play nicely together. Most of our, I shouldn't say most, but a lot of our really wonderful produce is harvested in the summer months where students are off enjoying their summers as well. But we are able to welcome students back in September and October with really incredible stone fruit. In the fall, when the weather gets colder, we transition to more hardy vegetables like local kale, local potatoes, winter squashes, and even in the heart of darkness that we are in right now in January and February, we can still find great local apples and pears. And in January and February, we will explore more than a dozen varieties of apples, more than a handful of different types of pears to keep our salad bars interesting when other local produce is hard to find. In the springtime, we see a resurgence of greens and carrots and mushrooms and asparagus, like the green, white, and purple asparagus that you see on the top of the screen here. And near the end of the year, weather permitting, we often get a shot of bringing in early season strawberries for our students. But Farm to School really is more than just produce. It's about supporting our local entrepreneurs and our local food producers. Last year, we were able to use these funds to bring local tortillas into our menus. From Bellingham, these authentic and supple tortillas are made out of just 5 ingredients, and they are fabulous. They are made by craftsmen and women in the authentic ways, and the students they love them. They think they're incredible. And while we have done great work with Farm to School, it is true that more work is needed. Part of our commitment to equitable practices means that we are called to invest in farms owned by underrepresented communities, including those of women, veterans, and BIPOC groups. We are a very large district to small farms, and so it is a challenge to find those partnerships. But when we are able to make those connections, they deserve to be celebrated. But our call to equity means more than just fruits and vegetables. It's a fundamental nutrition challenge that we are addressing daily. Earlier, I mentioned that we are going to do more than 2.5 million meals for our students this year. And that is in part because our students are in need of food more than ever. And greater access means that we need to grow to support them. And I'm proud to say this year, 4 school sites will be hosting our Super Snack, which is operated under the At-Risk Supper Program. What this means is for our students at Cascade and Everett High Schools, Evergreen and North Middle Schools, students remaining on site for after-school activities can receive a full third meal at no cost to them. The At-Risk Supper Program recognizes that for many students, the school setting is the safest and most reliable place to access good nutrition. Families do not need to apply for benefits, and all students are welcome to participate in the program. The intent of the supper program is to support students who are participating in after-school activities, because students should never be asked to choose between food and enrichment, hunger and engagement. Supper is available immediately following the regular school day, and meals can be taken anywhere on campus where activities are held. And this program differs from many of the after-school snack programs that we provide in our elementaries, in that it provides students with substantial and balanced nutrition at a time when bodies and minds are growing rapidly. The fact that we are serving up to 130 students each day at each site demonstrates the need for greater access to meals in our communities. But that's not the only way we're working to bridge gaps and add value to our students' days. We see our kitchens and cafeterias as more than just a place to eat. They're also a place to learn essential skills, especially for students who are ready for life beyond the classroom. As a quick background, the Gaining Ownership Over Adult Life, or GOAL program, is a transitional program for students that fall within the Special Services umbrella. GOAL students are offered learning internships with various community partners as they work towards the mastery of many skills adults take for granted. And for the last 4 years, Food and Nutrition has been a trusted partner to provide students with internship sites. From school kitchens at Sequoia, Everett, North, Lowell, and others, GOAL students learn about basic food safety, how to read a recipe, kitchen safety, customer service, and sanitation, among other topics. At locations where students learn off-site, like at Providence Hospital and the Carl Gibson Center, we don't send those students away with a brown bag meal and call it a day. We want to develop their skills even further. So we send them with raw ingredients so that they can learn under supervision how to prepare and cook their own meals, further enhancing their independence as they work towards becoming adults in their own lives. Often these internships are students' first opportunity to explore their own interests in an environment where they still have the support of mentors and a safety net. Many times, students will learn that the fast-paced environment of the kitchen is not right for them. For others, they learn that they are capable of so much more than they initially thought. Imagine the look of joy on a student's face when they see for the first time that their love for organizing is not a limitation of OCD, but a valuable and appreciated skill that has real-world applications. It is a life-changing environment for students to see that they can be successful at holding a job and meeting the needs of the greater community. Supporting student academic achievement is a core tenet of our strategic plan, and Food and Nutrition is proud to participate and do our part. Yes, Food and Nutrition is more than just hot lunch. We are strengthening our communities and our menus with farm-to-school efforts. We are improving students' access to meals and nutrition with growing supper programs. And we are promoting academic achievement by meeting students where they are and helping them master the skills of independence. But before I say goodbye to you tonight, I want to end with one parting thought. Learning does not stop in the cafeteria. Learning is reinvigorated in it. In food and nutrition, we strive to foster a lifelong learning of food with our students. We promote curiosity and exploration. We celebrate with our senses. And we passionately insist that food is meant to be enjoyed, and it's always made a little bit better when it's shared with others. Thank you. I appreciate your time tonight.
Thank you so much. Any comments? Dr. Herman?
I love your passion for food and the connection to student well-being, student health, student academic achievement, all of it. 100% agree. So great presentation. There's, again, just a lot of great information there. That 2.5 million meals even surprised me, having seen some of the data before. So a couple of questions came up for me on, for example, the summer sites that we have, because 12 months a year. Curious on how those are selected. It's not all us, but some are within our district. Just how does that work?
Yeah, it's a really great question. So summer is a different program, so there's different rules, and we operate off of the census, so census data. So if we can identify that there is an area that meets a minimum of 50% of enrolled students living in that area qualify for free and reduced meals, we can qualify a site. And we work with a lot of community partners, Everett Public Libraries, Everett Parks and Recreation, various Boys and Girls Clubs, anybody who is willing to partner with us to continue to provide meals for students during the summer months, we are so eager to work with them and help out.
And those partnerships just keep coming out.
I know, it's that collaboration.
It is, and actually, it did remind me that I know that there's backpack programs going on and food banks and churches that help supply food for our families on a weekly basis. Curious if, have there been any, or are there currently any disruptions in supply or throughout the year? What does that look like from your point of view?
Yeah, well, we often are challenged with just regional interferences. So we had a recall on cucumbers recently, for example, that impacted us. We are much better than we were in the 21-22 academic year, as well as the 22-23 academic year. I would say mostly things have stabilized outside of hurricanes in the American Southeast affecting citrus crops, juice supply, things of those nature that we deal with on a year-to-year basis, but we're better off now than we were.
Thanks, and just keep up the great communication from your department. I'm loving seeing the updates, the ugly fruit that I think was about a week or so ago. But yeah. So I'd really encourage the public to follow your work. But well done.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Director Mason.
Just a quick comment. Great presentation. I just so appreciate your farm to school program. I think that's just a great opportunity for our students to learn where their food comes from and keep it local. But overall, just really great. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Any other comments? And I hope that with what's going on, we can continue to get some of our good produce, and we don't see too many disruptions. But as was already said, your enthusiasm is outstanding. So thank you for your service to our students.
You look at these kids, and I get to feed them every day.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah, and Dr. Saltzman.
I just have to publicly say this. You are an unsung hero. You love your job, which makes me so happy. But if you ever have a long day, if you ever have a long day and you need some zen, just listen to Adam talk. I try to do it once in a while. Adam, your voice and your love for food is just amazing. So thank you for all you do.
I hear a podcast in his future.
Yes.
I think I'll just settle for cooking for now. Okay. Thank you, though.
Well, thank you so much. And Ms. Tress, thank you for bringing that to us. That moves us on to section 13.0, 14.0, unfinished business, and there is none for this meeting, which takes us to 15.0, or new business. What we have before us tonight is a proposed calendar revision, so it should be in your board docs. It is just the proposal for the 25-26 school year. And can you please, was there an addition or was there a correction to it? Or was it just new?
There was one date that was changed from the version that was in the Friday report.
Okay, thank you. And so, thank you. So any real discussion about when meetings should be, should we have one a month, two a month? We can save for August. But just want to see if there are any questions about the calendar up here for the 25-26 school year. Okay, seeing none. Is there any objection to this policy being adopted for first reading? Seeing none, this policy is adopted for first reading. It will be sent for second reading at the subsequent meeting. Thank you all. Dr. Saltzman, this brings us to section 16.0, upcoming agenda items. What is planned for our upcoming meetings?
Thank you, Madam Chair, Board of Directors, and to the public this evening. At the February 11th regular meeting, the board agenda will contain the following: a brief performance by the Jackson High School Orchestra, a recognition for the NAACP Martin Luther King Essay Award winners, a sustainability update, a dual language program update, the assignment of Student Representative Selection Committee Board Representative, the December financial report, the Snohomish County Human Services Student Support Advocate Contract, surplus technology and electronic equipment, and the second reading of the board annual regular meeting schedule. Thank you, Madam Chair and the Board of Directors.
Thank you, Dr. Saltzman. That takes us to section 17.0, executive or closed session. There is none for this meeting. Which takes us to section 18.0, or adjournment. This concludes the January 28th, I have a typo in my minutes, in my agenda, regular meeting of the Everett Public Schools Board of Directors. This meeting is now adjourned. Thank you.